Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. Today I wanted to talk to you about OCD and relationships. In 9 years of helping people recover from OCD, I can tell you that what I see over and over again, pretty much in 99% of the time, is that OCD really creates problems in relationships. Even if OCD is not necessarily relationship OCD, but it doesn't really matter. It's at first the other person is tolerant and helpful, and as time continues they tend to become less so. That's pretty much the norm. This is what I see all the time. A lot of the times OCD can actually lead to a relationship breakdown if left kind of untreated long enough, right? So if you're experiencing difficulties trying to convey to your partner how you feel, the severity of what you are going through, how you are trying, you are pushing, but it is hard. I mean, you have to understand that they've never gone through what you've gone through. They've never experienced it. They don't understand when you're saying, I'm anxious. They're understanding it in terms of non OCD sense. Like, okay, maybe you're anxious like 4 out of 10. Why are you doing compulsions at that level, right? So, okay, maybe very anxious. Okay, to them, very anxious is like 5 out of 10. They don't understand what 10 out of 10 feels like, just like you didn't understand what 10 out of 10 felt like before you got OCD. It's a level of anxiety that's extreme, and when a person lives in that level all the time, after a while it's hard to kind of um, understand that they don't understand. So whenever people ask me, should I talk more to my partner about my OCD, the answer is pretty much always a no. Yes, they need to be aware that you have OCD, especially say if it's a new relationship and they're not aware. They need to be aware that you have OCD. But do you need to go into specifics? No. Do you need to explain the exact thought process that you have? No. Do you need to feel like, especially if sometimes OCD can lead to feelings of guilt, and then the person feels like they need to confess to their partner all their thoughts? You know, you don't need to do any of it. It is all OCD, and really all you need to do is refuse analyzing and refuse doing compulsions every moment of every day to recover. You don't need your partner for that, and they can't help you, and unfortunately they can't understand what you're going through you know so the best way I find, and this is kind of an uncomfortable truth. I wish I could tell you that everything is going to be the best and they're going to be there for you 24 hours a day, and do everything for you to help you. And a lot of the times, to a certain extent, it's true, but it wears off after a while because the other person gets tired of OCD, of dealing with you dealing with OCD. And it's just what happens. You know what I mean? It's not fair, it's not right, but it's just what happens. And I find that as long as you recover, as long as you do the work and you recover, if you're having trouble in your relationship because of OCD, your relationship will survive. It will go right back to normal. But don't bring OCD up. And this is again just my advice based on experiences that I see. Again, for 9 years, I've had OCD myself. It's challenging. It's a difficult situation for everybody involved. Of course, it's not as difficult for everybody involved as it is for the person who's actually dealing with OCD, but other people may not understand that. So, my advice is just focus on your recovery. Make as much give it as much effort as possible. Every opportunity where you get an OCD thought, every opportunity that you feel uncomfortable is an opportunity to continue to switch your brain. You know what I mean? To continue to do exposure and response prevention. The exposure is already there. You just need to do response prevention, whether it's physical response of compulsions that you're refusing to do or mental response, such as analyzing, which you're refusing to do. You know? You do this, you recover, the relationship will go back to normal, everything will go back to normal, your life will go back to normal. And try not to hold grudges after the recovery. You know, who said what, who treated you like what, you know what I mean? Unless it's obviously extreme, you do need to stand up for yourself. But you know it's, you just try to understand that nobody can really understand that they don't understand, and you have to make peace with it, because there's no really other way, and just do the work, that's my advice too. Just do the work. If you do this, you will recover, and everything will be fine. I know it sounds kind of corny to say that, but it really is true. And like I said, I as long as you do the work, everybody recovers, doing this work. So some people recover faster, some people recover slower, depending again on the amount of how many times they step forward versus stepping back. But as long as you're focused and you're attempting to move forward, it might be a longer journey if you're having really hard time with OCD, but you will get there. For example, when we do like reduction of the compulsions, right? If every day you reduce your compulsions by 10%, 10%, so you're doing 90% of what it is that you would like to do. You know, it won't take long for you to go through all of it. 10 by 10 by 10 by 10. You know, it's not an all or nothing. A lot of the times it feels like it's like, well, if I don't do everything right away, then it's not good. But and also when you are pushing forward, and when the other person sees that, maybe it's a small step, but you are trying, you're achieving results. That's what helps them to cope as well, and to encourage you, because a lot of the time I find that the other person gets frustrated when they're not seeing you pushing, when they're seeing you do compulsions, when they're seeing you stepping back. And because they're unable to help, they feel helpless. They don't know how to make you stop. They also may feel like they are in some way dependent on you, whether it's emotionally dependent, financially dependent, physically dependent. And it's just one of those things, right, that it makes them scared as well, and they can't deal with it. So try not to judge them, and just do the recovery work. I promise this is the way out of the OCD, out of the problems in the relationship, all of it. I hope you find my videos helpful. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you would like to do the recovery program, all the information on youhaveocd.com. You can sign up from there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.